Hello and welcome back to TBWP21. This month we are focusing on the mental and emotional wellness pillar. We are excited to be addressing some topics that have been requested by our wonderful employees. These topics are team bonding and burnout.
Although a lot of what we do in our jobs requires us to be physically well, we know that our mental and emotional wellness is even more important to the overall quality of the care we provide to our patients and residents.
We are proud to have two of our very own TanaBell support staff members leading us through some activities, informations, and skills that will help us to build better teams and to recognize and treat the symptoms of burnout, resulting in a happier and more enjoyable work experience.
Now let's turn the time over to Morgan Nally as she will be leading us through some fun and interactive team bonding exercises.
Okay, so I'm just going to start by introducing myself. I'm Morgan Nally. I'm the Regional Marketing Director for TanaBell Health Services. And then this is the rest of our TanaBell corporate staff. They're just going to help me with this video today. I'm excited to have the opportunity to lead everyone through some team bonding exercises. And a little bit about my background is I grew up playing softball my whole life from elementary school all the way through college. So I've been on a lot of teams, some really good teams, and of course some not really good teams, which aren't as fun to be a part of. And one thing that really stood out to me growing up, and now reflecting back on my softball career and the many different teams I was on, is that the teams that really dedicated time to leadership training or team bonding exercises and just built better team chemistry tend to be the ones that are more successful. So throughout this video, we're going to focus on those things and hopefully provide tools and exercises that you guys can do at the facilities together as a large group or in smaller department groups. With that being said, I will share a few easy team bonding activities, and these activities will promote these characteristics of a successful team. So the first one is competition, the second one is positivity, third communication, and last vulnerability. So with my fellow TanaBell corporate team members, I'll be walking you through a few of these exercises, and we invite the executive directors at each of the facilities to take some time, pull some staff together, watch this video together, walk through these exercises, and participate in them together. If you don't have the time to do it in a large group, I want you guys to allow maybe department heads to take a few minutes out of the week and do these activities with their staff members so that everybody has the opportunity to participate in each of these activities. They shouldn't take you more than 30 minutes. The first activity that we will be doing is an icebreaker, and it's a little bit of a friendly competition. The second one is to help promote positivity and encouragement. And the third and final one is where we will touch on communication and vulnerability. So let's get started. So for the first activity, we are going to play the number game. This is where we get a little competitive. So what you can do is, obviously I have a small team with me. There's only 6 of them. So we're going to have to do it competition against ourselves. But if you are participating in a larger group, you can have smaller groups that are competing against each other. So what you're going to do is you're going to print out numbers 0 through 10, or for our sake we did 0 through 6, and I'm going to give each of them a number. So at your facilities, do the same thing, print out the number that is appropriate for your group size, and then hand out numbers to those groups. Like I said, you can compete against each other, so you can do it the quickest in the small groups, or you can compete against yourself, which we'll do, and we'll time ourselves. So how this activity works is they'll each have a number, and I have written down some numbers here that they have to create using these numbers, and we're going to see how fast they can do it. So for example, if I said the number 10, whoever's holding number 1 and 0 need to hurry and step forward to make the number 10. But what we're going to do is I have 5 different rounds, and the numbers get bigger as we go and a little more complicated. So we're going to test them.
As long as we don't have to do addition or multiplication.
No, just organization. Just organization of making these numbers. But could be get tricky. So we'll start at that end and pass the numbers down. Take one, pass it down, and then I want you guys to slide your chairs to the side and stand up right here. Okay. So our first number on your mark, get set, go, is number 62.
Go.
I'm
Go.
Good.
Good job.
3.02 seconds.
Oh, we gotta go faster.
That's not that fast.
Yeah, it's not that fast. Okay, our next number is 513.
Oh!
501.3.
No, I'm 5.
553. That was terrible.
Hey, we did good.
6.6.
That was terrible.
Okay. Because I haven't started that, I didn't go this way, right?
Okay, so this is the so
This is the
thousands, hundreds, tens,
Yes,
ones.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
You just gotta be in the right spot.
Yes.
Okay, the next number is 4,026.
4026.
6.35. Okay, next number. This is a big one, guys.
Oh boy.
13,625. Okay, I'm lost. 25.
You're 6. You go. Oh, you're not in there.
Good job. That was almost one of the
I
better
feel
ones.
left out.
Okay,
Oh, we've got space for you. Don't you worry.
okay.
Left out.
Now this is the final number. And
Wait,
this-
how fast was that last
I
one?
accidentally didn't push the button.
0. We got 0. We're
That
roughly
was
good.
That's good.
Okay, this is our last number. 5,160,324.
5,100,000. So
320.
5 million. So 5 million.
5 billion.
20 right here.
160,324.
You've got to get zeros in there a couple places.
Yeah, zero's gonna be.
That.
I can only have one.
5,160,324.
160. Okay.
There we go. Only took us 20.86 seconds. Okay, so as you can see, it can get a little rowdy, so knock shift, you might have to keep it down if you're participating in it. But it is a lot of fun and gets everybody kind of their brains going, and takes a lot of teamwork to get in that order of whatever the numbers are. And you can do as many numbers as you want or as few as you want, just make it get harder as you progress on. So competition makes us strive for greatness. Sometimes we don't recognize as individuals the level that we can get to, and we just stay so stagnant and do the same thing over and over and over, and we don't really progress in our lives, in our personal lives, in our work lives, in our relationships. So that's one thing that I like to have in my life, is a little bit of competition, because it shows me that I can keep progressing and getting better and better at what I do. So that's kind of the gist of that activity. So our second activity is called the poncho activity. This one's going to take a little more time and a little more thinking. And the supplies you'll need is some large sheets of paper, some washable markers, and then your brain thinking really good. So this is going to promote some positivity and encouragement. So I want each of you to grab one of those rolls of paper, and what you're going to do is you're going to fold it in half once to be this size, and then fold it in half again to be this size.
So hamburger than hot dog.
Yeah, hamburger than hot dog. And then after you do that, you're going to take the corner that isn't open, so the one that's a complete corner, and you're going to rip a hole in it, and you need it to be pretty big because you're going to put it over your head when you unfold it. And then you're going to unfold it, and you're going to put it on like you would a poncho.
Oh, okay. Or a pilgrim. Or a pilgrim thing. Right?
Okay, I'm going to give you a marker.
I feel like I'm going to a crab eating contest.
Be careful with the
Ooh,
markers
that
you use. Make
sounds
sure, make sure they're kind of a darker color so you can end up reading them. I promise it's not going to bleed through, and if it does, we're using washable markers, so it'll wash out.
Okay, I wore my white shirt.
Or my
Great
white
choice.
shirt.
Okay. So, one thing we don't get enough in our lives is positivity, especially over this last year. So what we're going to do is we're going to create an opportunity for everybody to share and spread some positivity. We hold a lot of weight on our shoulders, and it's really, really heavy weight, and that's what the poncho represents. And as a lot of studies have shown, the more positive you talk to each other and your peers and stuff, the lighter your life becomes. So that's what we're going to do, is kind of lighten the weight on each of our shoulders. So we're going to take about 2 minutes and we're going to walk around to the backs of each of us. And you're going to write down something that you appreciate about that person, some encouragement for that person, something that you really admire about them or that you've recently seen them do and succeed in and you're proud of them about. So I want everybody to get their ponchos ready and then get your markers out. And you'll probably end up in a train of writing on each other. But I want to take, if you're in a big group, you might not get to everybody, get to as many people as you can. You're just going to take the next 2 minutes and you're going to write positive affirmation type things on the backs of your coworkers.
Okay, so we're gonna just do this.
I can't move.
Wait.
Oh, okay, I guess.
On your back.
Okay.
Okay, so that was the easy part of the poncho activity. So it's really super easy to go around to your peers and give them compliments. Like, it's so easy to just come up with positive things in your mind and put them on somebody, right? This is the hard part. A lot of people are so critical of themselves and don't accept those positive things. They're like, nah, I'm not that good at my job. Like, you're lying, like you're just saying that because. So this is the hard part. You're gonna take your poncho off and you're gonna bring it in front of you and you're gonna read those things and you're really gonna let them sink in. I want you to really think about each thing that was said and accept those and reflect on those compliments that your peers gave you. So now what you're going to do with your poncho, obviously we're not going to keep these on our desks or in our back pocket. They're a little bit thick. But I still want you to keep them and fold them up till the end of the video. And I want you to take them back to your workstation or even just during your break, sit down on your cell phone. And I want you to write these things down so that you can refer back to them. Say you're having a heavy day and you need some light in your life. Go back to these comments. These are true, genuine things about you. They're not about anybody else. This is what people think about you. So keep those in a safe place and refer back to them frequently and accept them, reflect on them. Let them sink in and let them lift you up. So that's the poncho activity. We'll move on to our third activity now. You guys can all take a seat back down.
Let's give it a try.
Alrighty, this activity is for communication, vulnerability, allowing you to give feedback in an open and comfortable environment. So it's called Start, Stop, Continue. The first thing I need you to do is, whoever's the leader of this group, make it a comfortable and safe and open environment. Let everybody know we want to hear what Troy wants to say. We want to know what Jill wants to say. We don't want them to be guarded and feel like this is an activity they can't participate in because they might be reprimanded or something. Like, this is a completely open activity and you should feel completely open about offering your feedback to create change for the better. So everyone needs to go into this with an open mindset because this is going to be what leads to change. If you want to contribute to that change, we need you to be vulnerable and open and honest. So I need you to get in that mindset as well. Don't be afraid at all. This is completely to build us up as a team, not to tear us down, even though there's going to be some negative comments that might come out of it. So,
But I think we can make comments that need to change without being mean and ugly, right?
yeah, for sure. There's a
No,
way.
all mean comments have to be ugly.
There's a way to go about it and be tactful. Tactfulness is a good virtue for everyone to have in their lives. And this is a good activity to practice being tactful. So how this one works is I'm going to give each of them a small stack of sticky notes. There's about 6. I gave you one for room for error of spelling or whatever. So you're going to take 2 sticky notes for each category. Start, stop, continue. So So what you're going to do is you're going to write down something that you wish that we would start as a company. Like, you'll just have to come up with it. I don't want to give you any ideas because I don't want you to have to come up with it.
Pet days.
Pet days. We're going to go on to pet days. So you're going to write down 2 things you want to start happening, 2 things you want to stop happening in your specific facility or in your company. And then 2 things that you want to continue, something that you think is going really well in our company or really well in your facility. And after you write them down, I want you to come up to the poster board, which I want you guys to provide at the facility, and just write a column that says start, stop, and continue. And I want you to put your sticky notes that go in each of those categories in those lines. So if you have a big whiteboard at your facility, you can just use that. You don't have to get a poster board. We don't have a whiteboard.
So as we're writing, we can think of not necessarily for our facility, but just like the in general,
the
right?
company in general. So I'm going to toss you guys your sticky notes. Like I said, there's one for room for air. And we'll take a couple minutes to sit and think and write things that you want to stop in our company, things you'd like to start in our company, and things you'd like to see continue in our company. And then whenever you're done, feel free to go put them on the board.
Boom.
That's perfect.
Alrighty. So there is a method behind how it's set up: the start, the stop, the continue. Obviously, most of our, or should be all of our starts are positive. Stops is going to be a little bit negative, and continue is going to be positive. So that's a communication skill that a lot of us can implement in our lives, instead of being like, Kelly, you are so horrible and you're just not doing everything right. Like, instead be like, hey Kelly, nice to see you today, like you look great. I see you didn't open my email yesterday. Could you take a look at that, and then could you maybe send me a reply real quick so that we can move forward? Like, it's positive, negative, positive, instead of just negative, 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 because that just tears people down, and that's really hard and can lead to burnout. So we want to avoid that at all costs. So we're going to go over a few of each category that our team here did. And at your facilities, we're going to keep it a little shorter here, but at your facilities, I want each of you to have a discussion about the things that are up here on this board. I bet you're going to find some trends in each category. And obviously those trends are the things that should be kind of top of your list to acknowledge and come up with a strategy and plan to move forward with a plan of action. So that'll be up to you guys to evaluate that. And if you as the department head are running this, make sure you share all this input and feedback with your executive director, because obviously they're a big part of what goes on in the facility and a big part of what can help make change happen. So make sure it gets up to them and let them know what's going on. Okay, so this one says, start asking for help. Anybody want to elaborate on that at all? I have no idea who wrote it. No? Well, I kind of put a similar one up here. I said stop being afraid to ask for help. Especially with us here at the corporate center, we have a lot of tools, and I know I personally have a lot of software that I can create flyers faster than your activities director can. So why does she need to sit and spend 2 hours on it when it's going to take me 10? So don't be afraid. 10 minutes. Make just things like
It's
that.
an actual flying flyer.
Yeah. Have them reach out and ask for help, and we can get it done a lot faster. It's going to save them time. And in the facility, saving time is so important, because that makes our quality of care go up. And that makes our residents happier, and it makes you happier because you're not just burnt out because you're just running on E all the time trying to get things done. Ask for help. Another thing says, start providing better orientation and employee onboarding. That's something we've discussed at the corporate level and with all of the executive directors, and a goal that we have for this year. So that'll be really nice to see that happen. We're going to go on to the stop column. Let's see. Stop worrying about what others do. Anybody want to elaborate on that at all? Kelly?
Yeah, I think that we just need to, That wasn't my suggestion, but mine was similar to that, which was, I'll just say it, I said, don't look for ways to help others and not just go, well, that's not my job, which I think is similar to not worrying about what others do. Do your job, and then if you can help somebody else, you can help them, but your job isn't to analyze how somebody else is doing their job. So do yours, and then see what you can do to help somebody else do theirs as well. I mean,
Actually, I'm gonna just go ahead and read all of the stop ones because they're very similar. Like they would all really fall in the same category. And even though we all thought of it a little different way, I think it just goes to show that it's on all of our minds. So, stop saying or thinking it's not my job, not my problem, or someone else will do it. Stop only doing the bare minimum, saying that's not my job. Stop being critical of coworkers and leaders. Stop bullying or being mean. Stop gossiping. Stop comparing yourself to others at your job. Stop hesitating to ask for help. Stop being so critical of others. Stop worrying about what others do. And then stop taking things personal that are ways to get better. So I think
it's interesting that we all have the same.
yeah. Okay, now we're going to go on to continue, which these are positive. They're our sandwich effect. We did positive, we did negative, now we're going to do some more positive. Let's see. Continue working on communication. Weird, we're doing that right now. So that's why I want all of you to walk through this video with us and do this exercise. Continue doing ready to work every shift. So for those of you that actually do it every shift, continue doing that. Continue finding joy in the journey. That's a perfect one. Continue striving to improve employee appreciation. That's been a big focus here at our office because we love you guys so much and we want you to know that even though we don't get to come and be with you all the time, we really want to do all we can to show you how much we appreciate your hard work and what you do for each of our patients and residents. Like I said, we can't limit ourselves and say, well, I am where I am and this is where I'm going to be the rest of my life. Like, we can all get better no matter how old we are. We just got to set the sky as the limit. And if you feel like there's nothing more you can get better at, go and ask your supervisor. All of our administrators, our executive directors, our directors of the different departments are very open and they want to help you. So if you feel like you are just stagnant and plateauing in your job, go ask them, what can I do? What can I do to improve and grow in my career? And they will be happy to do that. I know we already mentioned continue finding joy in the journey, but Jill also put it up here as just an overall thing to enjoy the journey. We're all in this together, no matter how hard it gets, as you can see over the last year plus now. It's starting to get better, so just continue to enjoy your journey and continue to work hard to get to know your coworkers and be positive with each other. Get rid of that negativity, that bullying, that gossip, and just strive to make somebody's day better every single day. And if you need more ideas about how to incorporate team bonding in your facilities, myself, along with these 6 awesome people right by me, we would all be more than happy to help you come up with more ideas to create more joy in your facilities and create better teams and a better journey and experience for everyone overall. So that's all I have for you guys today.
Thank you, Morgan. I really enjoyed getting to participate in those activities, and I thought that they really gave each of us the opportunity to communicate and appreciate one another.
We look forward to hearing about how the activities go in each of your facilities. We also know that you won't have time to do all of the activities at one time. What we'd like to encourage you to do is choose an activity and then either in an all staff or stand-up, do that activity. Then at another all staff or stand-up, do another activity. What we strongly encourage is that throughout the month with all of your staff, you take the opportunity to do each of those activities.
Next, we'll be hearing from Veronica Johnson and her adorable special guest as they share with us information about work-related burnout.
Hi, I'm Veronica. I'm the Human Resources Director here at TanaBell Health Services. I'm also certified in mental health studies, focusing on behavior, depression, and burnout. This is Ranger. He is a 10-month-old blue-nosed pit bull, and he's in training to be a psychiatric service dog. Mental health is something that's extremely important to me, and work-related burnout can definitely affect our mental health. Work-related burnout occurs in every industry, but it is top 5 within the healthcare industry. And healthcare is the highest burnout rate. In the healthcare industry, we try to be everything to everyone, and I think that we often forget about ourselves, which causes burnout. So there are 5 stages of burnout that I want to go over. The first one being the honeymoon stage. So this one can be often when you first take on a new job or a new task. You feel good about it, you want to continue going at the rate that you have been, but a lot of the times we feel ourselves getting stressed. So there are coping mechanisms that we can do to hopefully stay in this honeymoon phase indefinitely. Another one is that you can make sure that you are telling yourself that you're doing a good job, that you're doing this to improve yourself and your residents and your coworkers, that you're all in this together and that we're all facing the same struggles. Another one is that it really gets our creativity flowing, that it gets our mind flowing, that, hey, what can we do about this situation, or what can we do to make this person happier or even ourselves happier. Stage 2 is the onset of stress. So this stage is when burnout begins. It tells us we then become aware that some days are harder than others and that we are picking up more on our stress. You may find yourself feeling down at work, that your optimism is fading, and that you'll notice that there's truly like a symptom that you feel physically, mentally, and emotionally. So the symptoms of stage 2 of the onset to stress is job dissatisfaction, that we're no longer happy with the work that we're doing. Another one is lack of sleep or reduced sleep. Anxiety is always a good clue that we're having a little bit of stress. And then just general neglect of our personal needs. I know that I need to do this, but I don't feel like it. So that's something in stage 2 that we want to watch for. In stage 3, it's chronic stress. So this is where you lose motivation to work or to do things outside of work, and that you begin to experience stress on a more frequent basis. So the symptoms of stage 3 are lack of hobbies, that you just have no desire of doing things that you used to love doing. Resentfulness, this can come towards coworkers or families or management, or sometimes even residents, and that's what we don't want that anywhere in our lives. And then a social withdrawal from family or friends. I want to go home and I just want to sleep. I want to close my door and I don't want to do anything or interact with anybody. And then another one is anger or aggressive behavior. So stage 4 is the burnout stage. So this is where the symptoms become more critical, so that you're continuing as normal as you would in your day-to-day life, but it becomes increasingly more difficult to cope with your symptoms, with the symptoms that are going on in the back of your mind and causing you anxiety and stress. And the things that we look for in the stage 4 burnout, the symptoms, so we end up getting an escapist mentality. How can I get out of this situation? I'm done. I don't want to talk to anybody about it. I just want to be out. And that can cause a pretty, we burn bridges that way. And we don't want to do that. We want to be able to find somebody to talk to. Another one is feeling empty inside, not wanting to do anything. That kind of, goes with the escapist mentality. How can I get out of even doing something that I would normally enjoy? And then really obsessing over problems at work and then or life, and then getting a pessimistic outlook on work and life. So stage 5 is the habitual burnout. So that means that the symptoms of burnout are so embedded in your life that you're likely to experience significant ongoing symptoms of burnout. And this is mental, physical, or emotional problems because of all that stress and burnout that we're feeling. So the symptoms of chronic stress or chronic burnout, habitual burnout, is sadness, and these are where our symptoms get more serious. Depression, mental fatigue, and physical fatigue. That is not what we want, especially it's so easy to dig ourselves into a hole of depression and sadness and a pessimistic mind that sometimes that hole's going to be too big and we can't climb out of it. And we don't want that to happen. So let's now talk about what we can do to prevent burnout. So the first one is evaluate your options. Talk to your supervisor, talk to your management. We want to help you. They want to help you. Let's make sure that you're in the right fit, that you're happy, that your mental health is our first priority. Troy Bell, our CEO, says that our employees are our number one customers. And we want to make sure that you guys know that and that you can come talk to us. My line is always available for you to call as the HR director, or even if you just want to vent, that's fine. That will stay between us. We just want you to reach out to somebody because that's how the starting point is going to happen to prevent burnout. The other one is seek support. If you don't want to talk to me, that's totally fine, but talk to a trusted friend or a family member, get a second opinion. Is it truly too much of a workload, or do you have some other stuff that's going on that you may need to address? Try relaxing and focus on your breathing. So focusing on your breathing is super important. So you just inhale, hold for 6 seconds, and then exhale through your nose for 3 seconds. So let's do that. So I'm inhaling for 6 seconds and exhaling through my nose for 3 seconds. You don't have to close your eyes. It always just helps me to close my eyes. Makes me feel a little bit more relaxed. Another relaxing activity is to go home and really not think about work, not think about the stresses in life or work, and play with your dog or your kids or your family. Or if you just want to take a nap, take a nap. Take that 45 minutes to an hour to yourself and do something for you. Exercise and a good night's sleep always improve your mental health. And then mindfulness. So we want to be aware of feeling stressed, because everybody feels stressed. No matter what industry you're in, you're going to feel stressed. You're going to have hard days. So when you start to feel that way, just take, wherever you're at, take about 5 to 10 seconds and really get in tune and focus on what you're feeling. What can I do to snap out of this stress? Can I go talk to somebody? Do I just need to focus on my breathing for a little bit? Or do I truly need to take a break and a step back and go talk to my supervisor? So most importantly, remember that nobody is perfect. That we are in a hard industry, and make sure to give yourself credit for everything that you're doing correctly, and to be kind to yourself on the days that you struggle, because we do all struggle. And of course, as always, remember to find joy in the journey.
Thank you, Veronica and Ranger. I agree that it is important to remember that nobody is perfect. We all experience at least some of the symptoms of burnout, no matter what position we hold in our work life. I appreciate you sharing useful tips we can refer to as we each ride the roller coaster we call life.
We encourage all TanaBell employees to continue to find ways to build each other up and spread joy in the workplace. We also encourage each of you to develop bonds with one another so that when there is someone that is down, we can work together to lift each other up.
Now, to wrap up this month's TBWP 21 episode, we would like to share with you our Joy Spotlight featuring the fun celebrations that took place for National Skilled Nursing Week in May.